Ended with the lessons of geography in standard 10, and you have studied about Brazil and India, the physical features of both the countries, the location of the countries, vegetation and animal, human life in both the countries, and now you have to concentrate on the economy and occupation that is prevailing in India and Brazil. Actually, development of economy is dependent on the human life as well as the physical features of that country, at the same time the climatic conditions of that country. And the occupation of the country, they are dependent on the type of the government that is prevailing in that country or type of the economy that is prevailing in the particular country. Also, it is dependent upon the quality of the population, and the quality of the population is dependent upon the climatic conditions of the and physical features of the country. So all these factors, economic factors and physical factors, they are related with each other. You cannot separate the physical features of the country with the economic development of the country. They are all coupled together and they are dependent or interdependent on each other. Today we are going to study about economic development in Brazil and India, and also the types of occupations in Brazil and India. And this we are going to study with the relations of the questions that are given here. So the first question that is given here is the give reasons. And first give reason is per capita income in Brazil is more compared to India. Actually, both the countries are developing economy. India is northern and eastern hemisphere, and Brazil in southern and western hemisphere. And some part of Brazil is in northern hemisphere. Both the countries are having different type of climatic conditions, different physical features. Also, the human life in both the countries is quite different. But you must have learned by now that there are many similarities in both the countries. And in relation with that, now we know that the economy of both the countries is almost the same. This economy is the developing economy. It is not developed as USA's economy. It is not underdeveloped as some of the African nations. But both the economies are developing economies. There is one difference here. India's economy is dependent on the tertiary sector, that is the type of the occupation. And Brazil's economy is dependent on tertiary sector, and India's economy is dependent on primary sector. Now, when we consider the per capita income in Brazil and India, we have to think about the national income of both the countries. National income of India is very high compared to Brazil. National income is GDP, gross domestic product. That is the income coming to the nation by different sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, different economic activities that are conducted in any country. They are contributing to the national economy. So the national income of India is very high compared to Brazil's national income. But India's per capita income is less compared to Brazil's national income. Now, what is the reason behind it? It is because India's population is very high. As you know, India is having the second largest population in the world after China. And India's population density is 382 persons per square kilometer. On the other hand, Brazil is having fifth largest population in the world, but its population density is only and only 23 persons per square kilometer. Okay, so whatever is the national income of India is getting divided among the second largest population of the world. So 382 persons per square kilometer, that is the density of population in India, and national income is getting divided into that much of population. Naturally, the per capita income, that means per person income of India, is less compared to per capita, that is per person income in Brazil, because whatever is the national income of Brazil, it will be getting divided into only 23 persons per square kilometer, and therefore per persons, that is per capita income of Brazil, is high compared to India, though national income of India is high compared to Brazil. I hope this is clear to you. Now let's proceed to the next question, and that is, there is mixed economy in Brazil and India. Yes, that is similarity. Okay, as I have told you, there are many differences, but there are many similarities in both the economies. India and Brazil, both the countries, they are having mixed economy and it is developing economy. When we see the types of economies in the world, we know that there is the uh, mixed economy, there is socialist economy, and there is, just a minute. As we have seen earlier, that there are three types of economies. One is mixed economy, another is socialist economy, and capitalist economy. Capitalist economy is profit-based economy. That means whatever the sources of income or means of production, they are actually owned by the private individuals or capitalists. The industrialist and the capitalist, they have the power to take the decisions about what to produce, how it should be produced, where it can be produced, and how should be the margin of the profit. So the capitalist economy is profit based. That means main objective of the capitalist economy is to earn more and more profit. On the contrary, the socialist economy, all the controls of the means of production and the decision power is under the government. Government takes all the decisions regarding production and the distribution of whatever is produced in the country. So in socialist economy, there is no freedom to the capitalist or the industrialist. The decisions will always be taken by the government. And here, profit is not the main objective, but the equal justice or equal distribution is the main objective. Capitalist economies, they prevail in America or Australia or European Union. And socialist economy prevails in China, Russia or Korea. But there is a mixture of both capitalist economy and the socialist economy in the countries like India and Brazil. India and Brazil both are having mixed economy where there is a coexistence of private sector and public sector. Public sector, that means the government, and private sector, that means private industrialist or the capitalist. For example, in Brazil and India, the sectors like railways, productive sectors, railways, electricity production, iron and steel industries, they are owned and governed by the public sector, that means government sector. Okay. In Brazil and India also, the sectors like banking or health or education, airways or telecommunication, these sectors are owned and managed by the private individuals or private capitalists, industrialists, or they are also managed by the government. Okay, that means there is coexistence of both public and private sector in the airways, telecommunication or communication sector. Okay? And therefore we can say that India and Brazil, they are having the mixed economy. Okay, but always remember one thing, that in India, primary sector is the backbone of economy, and in Brazil, tertiary sector is the backbone of economy. Okay, now let's see the next question now, and that it is based on the map. Map of Brazil is given here to you, and that map is the major primary activities in Brazil. Okay, now you can see the primary activities, that means agriculture, mining and fishing and animal husbandry. These are the primary activities which are contributing in primary sector. Actually, primary sector is having the largest contribution in Indian economy. In Brazil, tertiary sector is having the largest contribution in Brazilian economy. So we see that primary activities are not well developed in Brazil. That means agriculture or fisheries or mining, they are not developed everywhere in all the parts of Brazil. But in one part, that is the eastern part of Brazil, we find concentration of agriculture, concentration of mining activity, concentration or development of industries. That is on the southern and eastern part of Brazil. Now let's see what questions are given on this map. Now you can see in the index, they have shown you agricultural production. Some symbol signs are given, and those signs and symbols are shown in the map. With the help of those signs and symbols, you come to know about the distribution of different crops or minerals or the concentration of fishing activity in the region. Now, the first question that is given on the map is, in which part of Brazil is coffee mainly produced? Okay, and now for that you will have to see which sign or symbol is shown in index for coffee production. Now you can see that blue color coffee bean is shown for coffee production. So where can you see it? It is here in the south central part of Brazil. In the Parana River Basin, you can see the coffee beans are shown. So that region is the Sao Paulo region of Brazil. In the Sao Paulo region of Brazil, you will find most of the coffee beans are shown. So in the answer now, you have to write the southeastern part, south central or eastern part of Brazil. Coffee production is mainly concentrated. Now next question there is, which food crops are mainly grown in Brazil? Food crops means rice, wheat or the pulses. Okay, these are known as the food crops. There is another category of the crops is that is cash crops. Okay, which cannot be eaten. So the cash crops are sugarcane or tobacco is there, or we also have the cotton. So these are known as the cash crops. Okay, tea production, coffee production, that comes under in the cash crops. So the food crops are rice, wheat, corn, pulses. Okay. Now in this map you have to see which food crops are shown. So in the index you get first rice and corn. Rice is shown there with a different symbol, and corn also is with the different symbol. Now rice signs are shown on the eastern coast of Brazil. Now you can check it. which is parallel to the North Atlantic Ocean and South Atlantic Ocean. Everywhere on the eastern and northern coast, you will see the signs for rice. But corn is shown in the central part of the Brazilian highlands. Okay, near the Xingu River basin, you can see that corns are shown. So the food crops that are grown in Brazil, they are rice and corn. Then next question is, can you relate the production of these crops with the climate there? Okay, the crops like rice, they require hot, humid climate and also ample of rainfall. Now, the rice production is concentrated on the eastern coastal areas of Brazil. This region is having humid climatic condition, high temperature and also the heavy rainfall that is coming from the trade winds coming from Atlantic Ocean. So hot and humid climatic conditions required for rice, it is prevailing in the eastern coast. Therefore, rice is produced on the eastern coast. For the production of corn, we require mild temperature, moderate temperature and moderate rainfall. The rainfall decreases in the central part of the Brazilian highlands. Okay, and the rainfall is less, temperature is moderate, and therefore in central part of Brazilian highlands we find production of corn. For oranges and for cocoa, again the temperature is moderate, rainfall also is moderate. So moderate climatic conditions are required for this crop production. Next question is, where are the rubber plantations concentrated in Brazil? And the answer given there is Amazon basin. Now see the map given there in Brazil, and in the index you will see the rubber is shown with the blue color rectangle, isn't it? And these blue color rectangle are mainly shown in the northern part of Brazil, north and western part of Brazil, in the Amazon basin, in the basin of Amazon river as well as its tributaries like Purus river, Japura, Negro river. You find those blue colored rectangles. Okay, now rubber requires very high temperature and heavy rainfall. Very hot and humid climatic conditions are required for rubber production. So these conditions are available in the equatorial region, that is the Amazon basin. Okay, and therefore rubber production we find mostly in Amazon basin. So that is the answer. Next question is, in which part of Brazil has mining activity not developed? Okay, mining activity will not develop in the region where we don't find any mineral resources. Where there is concentration of mineral resources, there you will find mining activity. But some part of Brazil or maximum part of Brazil like Brazilian highlands, that is central part of Brazil, northern Brazil, that is the Amazon river basin, and western part of Brazil, that is Japura and Purus river basin. In these regions, you will find that there are no mineral resources, no signs for mineral resources. That is in index you can see manganese is shown, bauxite is shown, iron ore is shown, and coal. Now these signs or these symbols, you can see them on the southern and the eastern part of Brazil. Okay, so these minerals are not shown in the central, that is Brazilian highland region, northern part, that is Amazon basin river, and the western region. Okay, so we can say that mining activity is not developed in central, northern and western part of Brazil. Now the last question is, where has the development of industries occurred? And the answer given there is eastern coastal area. Now for the development of industries, what is required? Required is raw material. Okay, raw material from the agricultural sector, raw material from the industrial sector, that means mining sector. So where do you find most of the agricultural productions concentrated, or where do you find most of the minerals concentrated? So with the help of the index, you can notice that most of the agricultural productions are taken on the eastern coast of Brazil, and most of the minerals are concentrated on the eastern and southern part of Brazil. Okay. So based on the availability of the minerals and the raw material from agriculture, agro-based industries and metallic industries are concentrated on the eastern part of Brazil. Also, the climatic conditions are suitable there, mild climatic conditions. Also, we are having the plain region, and ample of water resources are available on the eastern coast of Brazil. So, in the southern and eastern part of Brazil, most of the industries are concentrated. So, with the help of these questions, I hope you have understood about the different occupations in Brazil and India, also development of economies in both the countries and different sectors of economies, that is primary, secondary and tertiary sectors of economy in these countries. So, I hope you have understood it very well, and you will be able to write other answers also. Thank you.